All right, world, how you doing? Welcome to another Spin the Wheel podcast with me, the Edi Johnston Bit. That's right, it's me here with my spinny wheel. There he is, with my random questions to spin the wheel and have a chat with another guest. How have you been? Is everyone all right? I hope you're doing okay. It's nice that we're kind of gradually getting things a little bit closer to normality. I say normality. Who knows exactly what you've got going on in your life? Anyway, so here's another podcast, which is me chatting to another guest. Some of my guests are people you might have heard of. Some of them are a lot of people that you may not possibly know. This one is with a young man who's he's a rising star in terms of comedy within this country. His name's Sam Serrano. He's a young comic from Liverpool, who I've seen a couple of times, and it's one of those guys that you see on a stage and you think, I'm going to be in a situation being able to say that I saw this bloke in a few years' time when he finally starts hitting headlines and all the rest of it. So he's a really, really lovely guy. It's a little bit early, so we've had to give him some time to put his makeup on. Sam literally never appears in public without his face on whatsoever. But I do hope you're going to enjoy this one. It's an interesting chat, I'm sure. Well, knowing Sam, it could go in a number of different directions. I might have to get my editing talents all over this one. So, yes, are we ready? Ready to spin the wheel? Okay, ready? Let's do this. Hello and welcome to the Spin the Wheel podcast. Mr. Sam Serrano, how are you, sir? How are you?
Hello, I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very, very well. Lovely to see your face.
Lovely to see you too. I managed to get up out of bed and do makeup in about 2 minutes.
Congratulations.
I totally forgot we had this.
I know that's a little bit of a task. I also know for you the fact that getting up and coming here without your face on, not going to happen.
Oh, definitely not.
No. I know you from having seen your show. I think we might have met once, very briefly, perhaps. But I know I've seen your show. But again, I'm getting to the stage with these podcasts now that I'm running out of actual friends. So so I'm starting to interview people who I know a little bit, and you're included within that. So the first thing, before we get to the wheel, a little bit of an intro about you. I know, for instance, the fact that you're young. That's where we go. That's the default setting. You fit into that category of people. You still haven't got out of the 18 to 24 box, have you? On sentences and stuff.
No. I'm 17.
Not still. I know that might say that on your Twitter profile. But
No, I'm 21.
Wow, where's that time gone, eh?
I know, it's mental. Honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. My next birthday, I will relate to 22 by Taylor Swift, and I am not ready for that.
Mate,
I feel like I'm still about 19.
I wish I was still in that particular category. Actually, no, I don't. I was awful when I was your age. Anyway, you stand out a little bit on the stand-up scene for being that. There's a lot of 40-year-olds and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's quite weird. My girlfriend was like, "Can I meet your mates?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're all about 30 odd." All my mates are on comedy scenes. They're all 30 to 40. She was quite blown away that I was just best mates with these people and wasn't understanding any of the references.
Yeah.
I think half of my friends still call Snickers marathons, and I'm like, I've got no clue.
So, young comedian up in Liverpool, and studying to be a teacher. How's that come about? It was one
of those things where all my family are teachers. My mum was like, if you want to, because I started doing comedy before I went to uni.
Yeah.
My mum was like, if you want to do comedy, you also need a proper job.
Because it's not a proper job, is it? No,
absolutely not. And then I was just about on my way to being making a living, and then coronavirus hit, and I was just about to go, there you go, Mum.
Yeah.
You were flying.
You were absolutely flying when COVID hit. Your name was everywhere, getting some really good spots, really good shows.
So I've signed with an agent recently. One of the first things he said was, "Hey Sam, do you want to do some clean comedy?" I was like, "Oh no, that's not." Have you watched my set, mate?
Send him my way. That's fine. Not a problem. If you do see Sam, if you see him out on the circuit, or you happen to catch some of his YouTube videos and bits and pieces, clean comedy doesn't necessarily describe that.
I'm very racist.
That's a joke. That's a joke for anyone listening. You should see his face. No, but you touch on stuff that isn't necessarily. It's not necessarily family friend. It's not offensive, but it's not family friendly. Certainly. Yeah. And you go into your own background and the learning difficulties and bits and pieces like that. So, if you haven't seen Sam, I highly, highly recommend it, particularly on the grounds of he's getting to the stage where you're going to need to buy a ticket. I'm looking forward to seeing what you've come up with, having been locked inside for a year, essentially. How's the new material been coming?
Because I think a lot of people were like, oh, I've not really got much, because we've all kind of been in the same situation. And like my thing, as you said, is kind of talking about things which not everyone talks about, and kind of talking about like being weird situations, just in lockdown with my girlfriend, and then we broke up. So I've spent 6 months we were at her parents' house, and her dad's like proper, like he's got like an axe and shit. So she was like, if you dare actually tell him that we've broken up, you know what'll happen. I was like, yeah, we can just pretend that we're still together. So we were sleeping like the same bed, top and tail, and like 7-year-olds at a birthday party.
Sam.
It was really, it was not fun.
Yeah, but you've got some material out of that, surely.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Oh, dear. Right. Okay, we could do this for quite a while, but that's not why we're here. The reason we're here is my spinny wheel. Here it is. We'll give it a spin a few times, and we'll see exactly where that's going to take our conversation. You all right with that, Sam?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, let's spin the wheel.
It makes a noise.
It's a great sound.
It's so good.
Right. This one's got a theme tune. Which one's your favourite? Which one's your favourite? Which one's your favourite, Hob? Which one's your favourite? Which one's your favourite? Which one's your favourite, Hob? So yes, number 8. Which is your favourite Hob?
As we've touched on, I'm a student. I live off microwave meals, but probably I'd say bottom right, because it's front right. Yeah, front right, because it's in my flat. It's directly next to the kettle. So if I'm like boiling pasta when I'm pissed, I don't even have to carry the kettle too far. I just pour it in straight away. So it's the most convenient for my alcoholism. Purely
on the basis of convenience.
Yeah.
Right. Is it a gas hob, electric hob? What are we saying?
It is electric. I have it here. You're resting on it at the moment.
It's strange because from seeing that front right one that you just described, that's the small one of the front two, right?
Yeah.
Most people invariably go for the larger one.
So I don't eat too much food.
But I also, it's one of those, everyone has an opinion. And like you say, when you're in lockdown, you have to find things to write about, don't you?
Yes.
So that's been, so you live off pasta and not much else?
Pretty much. Yeah. My girlfriend who I'm now with, not the ex, she's like really into cooking.
Cool.
And she was over for Christmas, and she went, Sam, do you want to do like a roast dinner for Christmas? I was like, yeah, sure. And I was given the job to go get the stuff for the roast dinner, and I phoned her and went, Rachel, they don't have any. She went, what do you mean? I went, they don't have any roast dinners. And she went, what are you talking about? I went, they don't have it. They don't have any. And she went, no, you can't buy just a roast dinner. You have to get like the chicken and then the vegetables and all the different stuff. You can't get a microwavable roast dinner. But then I found one, and she wasn't happy with that.
So that's what you brought back, was throw it in the microwave.
She made me go back out and get a proper one.
Oh dear. You see, this is how you can tell your age bracket on the grounds of, I have memories of being that age, and my nutritional value of my meals at that particular point was considerably lower than what it probably needed to be. But
I live off Monster energy drinks, basically. This is my breakfast today.
Oh, wow. I'm just imagining, again, you going into teacher training completely wired off Monster and then completely crashed by lunchtime.
Oh, no, this is the genius. See, the plan for this, because it's 2 for £2 in B&M bargains. So you have one, and then as you start to crash, you have the other. It's genius.
Okay. So it's just by the end of the school day, you're just on this massive downer.
Yeah, definitely. It gets me through the hangovers as well when I'm in.
What, teaching gets you through the hangovers or the...
Oh, no, when I'm hungover, if I have a Monster, I can teach fine.
So it just keeps you on an even keel. Just keeps on trucking on. It's all joking, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Let's spin again and take us away from this nonsense.
Well, does a toasty maker count as a hob? Does that have a toast?
Oh, hold on. Stop the spin. Okay.
Does that count as a hob?
I can't, with all true conscience, I can't count that as a hob. Counts as an accessory.
Okay.
In the same way as a toaster would.
Yeah, toaster's not a hob, is it?
No, you can't have a toasty maker as a hob, no matter if that is your main default setting.
Yeah.
Cheese and mushroom toasties got me through many a night when I was at university, so I can well imagine you're right there at the minute. What's your favourite toasty?
Nutella and marshmallow. Because I am a child. On white bread as well. Not even 1 ounce of health in it. There's white bread, lots of Nutella, and then the big Haribo marshmallows. And just
wow.
Down.
I mean, part of me is horrified. Part of me really wants to try that.
They're so good, man.
Although I do need to go to the dentist later, so maybe that wouldn't be advisable right now. Right, we're moving away from this horrific diet and culinary detail. Let's see if we can get ourselves onto something a little bit more wholesome, shall we? Number 3 says, how would you like to be remembered?
Oh.
Yeah, Nutella and marshmallow seems a little bit flippant now, doesn't it?
That's how I want to be remembered. I'd like to be remembered for my comedy. That's what I would want to be. Because I know when I was growing up, I didn't know that gender fluid and bisexual was a thing you could be. Because it just wasn't. I didn't see any of that in the media. Growing up, I would have loved to see someone talking about being gender fluid and talking about being bisexual and talking about all these things which there are taboos like mental health and having learning difficulties and all that kind of thing. So I'd like to be remembered as I want to be the person that I wanted to see in the media. I want to be remembered as the person who kind of gave those members of society a voice and kind of helped people and just rose awareness for stuff.
So essentially trying to be the role model that you would have liked to have seen when you were younger.
Yeah, definitely. Just be what little Sam would have wanted.
It's quite an honourable thing to have as a goal in life, almost to have something like that set as a target for yourself. And I suppose if you perpetually have that in your mind, it keeps you going. And keeps you pushing and keeps you hungry for that, I suppose.
Definitely. And obviously I'm not on telly and stuff, but I've had it a few times. I think there's one time that I was buying makeup in Primark, and often if I'm in Liverpool, I'll sometimes get recognised. Especially if I'm buying makeup, people are like, oh, it's that guy.
That guy, yeah.
Yeah. And this woman just went, oh, do you do comedy? And I was like, oh yeah, I do. And she went, oh, my child is gender fluid and my husband's never really accepted them and never used the right pronouns and that kind of thing. But since we saw you talk about it on stage, he's been a lot more accepting. And I was like, oh, I'm definitely on the right.
That's cool, man.
Track.
That's really cool.
That's what I want.
Like you say, you might not be on the telly yet, you might not be getting that national level of recognition, but essentially that doesn't really matter. Whether if you're making a difference within your locality, then it's equally as good. Obviously, you want to try and have as broad a reach as you possibly can. But
that's why the internet's good. I started doing TikToks recently and talking about the kind of stuff that I want to talk about. Just like seeing people go, oh yeah, I have this as well, or see people go, oh, this makes so much more sense now. I think that's kind of what I need to do, and I think I owe it to myself when I was younger to do that.
That's great, man. The internet, TikTok goes places that you don't expect. I found out the other day that someone had been listening to one of my podcasts in Denmark. I don't know anyone in Denmark. Why is someone in Denmark listening to this nonsense?
It's mad, isn't it?
And the fact that you know that there could be a child in Singapore, there could be someone in Iceland, you just don't know where it's going to go, I guess. That's a really good thing to aspire towards, though. So when you were growing up, you said you didn't have any role models, but there must have been some people that you kind of leaned towards or gravitated towards.
For a long time, Eddie Izzard was like the big one for me. But also, like, when I started watching RuPaul's Drag Race, that was kind of when I clocked on that it's okay to kind of feel the way I did. So that whole show, it was a huge help for me.
Yeah. It's been massive for the community and for people to be accepted in terms of, okay, it's all right. I am who I am. They are who they are. It seems to be okay, apparently.
It's got its own issues. And if you look really deep into it, it's a bit, RuPaul said some iffy stuff in his time. There's some accusations of like racism on set and stuff like that. But I think for the way I see it, what it's done for the community, it's so huge. It needs to carry on. And it's starting, like, they've had the first plus size winner, which granted after about 20 seasons, they probably should have. And they've had the first like trans person on it and that kind of stuff. It's slowly getting there, but I think that show's done amazing. It's like any
other show, isn't it? Or indeed any other form of any other walk of life. There's going to be moments where you look upon and say, "Hang on, how come there hasn't been a black winner of this? How come there hasn't been an Asian winner of this? How come there hasn't been a gay winner of this, or whatever?" And things they start to balance out over time. But I guess people want acceptance that little bit quicker, maybe in some.
I think so. Also, I think people forget that it is just a TV show. Yeah. It doesn't try to be anything else. There's also not been a trans person on The Apprentice. No one's getting up about that. It's something that kind of annoys me when every LGBT thing that's made in like TV or film, it always has to be, it's groundbreaking, you know? And I'm like, why can't it just be fun?
Yeah, why can't it just be good? Can we just make good telly with some people on it?
Yeah. I love that show.
Number 14. Tell me about your favourite birthday.
I suppose a bit like not what everyone else would think, but my birthday this year was great.
Really?
I loved it. Yeah, I was meant to go. I was actually meant to go see a drag queen from Canada's Drag Race on my birthday. She came to Liverpool on my birthday, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." But then that got pulled. But then a musician that I love was doing a live stream gig on my birthday. So I was like, well, this has sorted itself right out. I didn't have to see any of my family. That was brilliant. Leave the presents on the doorsteps, guys.
Can we do this again next year? Can this be tradition?
If they can have a lockdown on just the 18th of November every single year, that would be brilliant. I just kind of had a really chill day and then got to watch Youngblood do a live stream the day after. It was brilliant.
Wow.
Really, really enjoyed it. I think I also didn't have to share my birthday cake. I had a whole birthday cake to myself. My mum got me two and was like, right, one can be for you and then the other one's to share with people. I just ate both of them. Just had two caterpillar cakes.
I was going to say, was it a caterpillar cake?
Yeah.
Somehow I knew that it was going to go that way. So that was the diet for the next couple of days following your birthday, was it?
No, that was just on my birthday. I just ate both of them. That was... Mate, you'd be lucky I didn't have a marshmallow in the Nutella toasty as a side.
I was going to say, did you try putting it between bread? That would certainly have worked.
Could also be because up until like this year was the first year in 3 and a bit years that I've not been gigging on my birthday. It was just nice not to spend it on a National Express coach. And also prior to gigging, it was always a bit stressful because I was mentioned before, I've got learning difficulties, like affect my social stuff. So my mum was always like, let's go out and do stuff. And I was like, not really. And so it was just nice this year to not have any pressure.
I guess that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
If we're talking other people's birthdays, it was the 10-year birthday for this charity. and they booked me to do 20 minutes of comedy. I got a message from them and they went, "Hiya, we'd like you to come down and do 20 minutes for 40 quid." And I was like, it was literally on my road. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. They went, "Right, we're going to have some people from the charity talk first and then you." And I was like, well, that's the worst way around to have it. the guy went on, I was like, "Oh, here's Dave." And then Dave went on and spoke about all like the marketing stuff they've done. And then he went, "Right, next up we've got Lucy." And then Lucy came on and spoke about all the volunteering they'd done. And then he went, "Right, now we've got Sam." And I went on, no mention of me being a comedian. So they all thought I was just part of the charity.
Oh, wow.
And it took me about 5 minutes. I was just doing my set and they're all just staring
just
at me
went
like,
on to just straight into your normal startup and...
Yeah. They were like, does this guy work for PR? What's going on? And I was like, I've just got to do 20 minutes. And then did my 20 minutes, got off. And they went, why have you got off? I went, I've done my 20 minutes. And they went, no, you need to go back on. You're doing 40 minutes. And I went, no, I was booked for 20 minutes. And he went, show me the message. And then I looked at the message and I got the numbers wrong and I was doing 40 minutes for 20 quid.
No.
So that was the worst birthday kind of celebration I've ever been to. That was awful.
Mate. I mean, I've done some shows where I've died on my backside, but I haven't had to go then back on again.
Yeah, it was awful. It was so funny because he went on and was like, "Do you want more?" And they were like, "No." He was like, "Well,
you're getting it anyway." This is number 5. What music gets you going in the morning?
Oh, I have like the most like weird music taste on earth. I have a morning playlist.
Okay.
It's kind of full of like songs that I really like boost me up a little bit. Like, because some days I wake up not feeling great. So it's just like a wide mix. There's a lot of Youngblood on there.
Yeah.
A lot of the 1975 is on there a lot. I love them. 21 Pilots is on there. Florence and the Machine. All these cool acts. There's quite a bit of musical theatre on there and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of like, it's because I don't just use it in the mornings. I use it like, if I'm feeling a bit down, I'll just shove that playlist on, which majorly backfired the other day because my dog passed away last Friday, and I was like, I'm feeling really down. I'd had her since I was like 5, and so I was like, I'll put on my happy playlist, and I was like, I'll just put it on shuffle. And the first song that came up was Florence and the Machine's "The Dog's Days Are Over."
Those people who are just listening to this, you can't really see my face. But that is the kind of coincidence. You can't write this stuff.
Yeah. But so I've kind of gone off there a little bit.
Florence.
Yeah, the 1975 probably my main band.
Yeah, I know you're a big fan of those guys.
Huge. Yeah. I love them.
But that's the kind of thing you stick on your playlist, you get yourself going, and I think we've all got some of those stuff that we just. I've got one which is still titled my snowboarding playlist. Not that I've been for ages, but it used to be a case of putting my headphones in at the top of a mountain, and then I'd go down on my snowboard, just shouting and singing my head off, because no one cares, no one's listening.
Yeah.
The problem is the fact that when I put it on when I'm driving, it kind of gets me going a little bit. I have to really pay attention to the speed limits, because otherwise I just lose control.
I've had to stop listening to that playlist before gigs because otherwise I'm just too energetic on stage. Like, calm down.
Just doesn't work.
The Monsters, to be fair. That's probably not helping.
Stop drinking the Monsters, stop eating caterpillar cakes, and then everything will be fine. No, not that one. No. I know, we'll get back to that. Tell me about one specific highlight that sticks in your memory from your childhood. Now, for you, that's probably about 3 weeks ago, but...
Yeah, this morning. So as I said, huge fan of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
And I had started. I think I'd just about started gigging. I was gigging for a bit, then took time off to do GCSEs and stuff.
Yeah, because all comedians have to do that.
Yeah. It was at a time that I was gigging, and Trixie Mattel was on tour at that time, who is like my favorite drag queen of all time. I was desperate to see her, but like we always clashed. It's like when she was in Manchester, I was gigging somewhere else, and then we were all like all over the place. Except in Glasgow, we were gigging like in the same town, and I was like, oh, I won't be able to go to the show because I'll be gigging.
Yeah,
but I can go and try and meet her like before the show. So I turned up in Glasgow early. I was like, right, I need to go to. I think she was at the O2 Academy. I think so. I ran straight to the O2 Academy. I was like, I just want to meet her quickly before my show. I wasn't quite sure what I was doing because I was only 14. I didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah.
And I saw her like just over the road, and I was like, oh my God, that's her. She was out of drag, like, but
okay.
I was like, oh my God, amazing. I need to go over. So I quickly ran over and just kind of poured my heart out. I was just like, you are my absolute idol. You're incredible. Like when I was wanting to wear makeup and stuff, you were one of the ones who kind of pushed me to do it and kind of made me see that it was okay to be a man and want to wear makeup and all that kind of stuff. And it was just a huge help for me. Can I have a photo with you? And she kind of nodded a bit, and I was like, oh, okay. She's probably just worried about the show. So I took a photo with her, and then went, I'm really sorry to be a pain. Could you sign my poster? And I got out a poster of her, and like showed it to her and like handed her a pen. And she said, which I now know is Swedish for "that's not me." So I now have a photo of me and this random Swedish tourist.
Oh, that's amazing.
That was the highlight of my childhood, which kind of shows what a shit childhood I had. If that was my highlight.
You know, it's just one of those things that just pops to mind when someone asks you a random question. That's not a problem at all. But I just wonder the story that the Swedish man is that. I got accosted by this young 14-year-old who asked me to sign a poster of a random drag queen. Did he sign it?
No.
I just wondered.
No, he didn't sign it. So I would have
know how committed he was to the whole. You know what? I'll just get it over with. Signed and gone. Number 8 says favorite school subject.
I'm a big fan of English. I'm a huge fan of English. To teach, I'd say English. It's so versatile. You can like throw in so much stuff. Like you can do like drama with them. You can put in like art and that kind of stuff. So I think most kids enjoy it.
In terms of teaching English, in terms of actually when you were at school?
Oh, probably music. I think music's probably a big part. It's probably my mum's least favourite thing because she then had to listen to me trying to play piano and guitar at early hours in the morning before I went to school. But yeah, I think music, I think that might just be because I had a really good relationship with my music teacher who like got me into all the different bands and stuff.
Yeah. Do you have any music lessons? Did you learn?
Yeah, I do. Oh my God. I do piano, ukulele, guitar, didgeridoo, and singing.
Nice. I mean, that's a combo.
I was really weird. I was playing didgeridoo when I was like 17, but it was like much bigger than me. So I was just hauling around this didgeridoo.
When I think of a normal didgeridoo player, I don't know what that is. But when I think about a didgeridoo player, I don't imagine that I would be seeing your face. But you play the ukulele as well? Yeah,
I've got the ukulele.
Yes, mate. Come on. All the merrier.
I got my that was the first thing that I like brought myself was my ukulele.
Was it?
And called it Samson.
Have you got good ukulele, or have you got one that goes out of tune really easily?
I've got one that goes out of tune proper easily, and I need to get a new one. But then I think I play guitar more than I play uke. I think so. I kind of Because I'm on like my third guitar, I think.
Yeah. Guitar's a little bit more flexible, but
Yeah.
ukulele packs into a very small case. So
Yes.
that's quite handy.
Definitely.
The one thing I'm going to do this now. This might not make it onto the podcast anyway, because this is my spare ukulele, which I have here. You know, on your ukulele, the back of these nuts here, if you get a screwdriver on them and tighten them up, that'll stop it going out of tune quite so quick.
Ah, perfect.
True story.
Definitely do that.
Right, okay, one more spin, Sam. One more spin. Here we go. This could be interesting. Who was the most famous or relatively famous person you met as a kid? Now, we've kind of already touched upon you not meeting somebody.
Yes. I remember I met... there's a kids' TV presenter I used to watch all the time. He's called Barney Harewood, I think.
I know Barney.
Him.
Yeah.
I met him, and he was actually, I met him when I was like 12, I think, and I thought he was brilliant. I've still got his like autograph and shit. It was like
CBBC kind of presenter.
Yeah. Now does stand up.
Does he?
And is not very good. So I remember I met him at I think it was some literacy festival, and then went a few years later. I was like, oh my God, I'm on a gig with him. I think I had to go on after him, and I was like, oh, this is going to be tricky. Yeah. And then it was horrific. And I was like, oh, nice. Really? I'm now better at comedy than probably Paul Smith as well.
He's the guy who's like the main head honcho from the Hot Water Comedy
so
Club in Liverpool, isn't he?
He does arenas and stuff now.
Yeah.
Which is mental, because I still remember him like he's not even changed that much. Like I remember him teaching me how to be funny, and I was like, oh, this is mad that he's now doing arenas. So it's selling out as well.
Especially because essentially, as far as most people are concerned, he's just a club comedian. Hasn't been on telly. Yeah. Hasn't been on any panel
2 years
shows.
Ago, he just did Hot Water.
Yeah, the Hot Water thing itself and the way that they've utilised YouTube has been just mammoth. Absolutely amazing.
I remember I did it 1 week before the videos came out, and it was quite quiet. And then after that, it's just been packed every night.
It'd be absolutely rammed now, isn't it? Yeah.
They used to have two venues. They used to have Hardman Street and Seal Street. I used to do one and then run up and do the other.
Cool. Yeah.
I remember once I did Hardman Street and Paul was on, so there were 300 people, and it was just an insane gig.
That'd be crazy.
And I just was on such a high from it. I was like, oh, that's brilliant! Can't wait to go up to Seal Street. Ran up to Seal Street, and I was doing a gig to 5 people with Freddie Quinn MC, and it was still awesome. It's such a good club. I think that's one thing that people overlook, is just how good the club is.
It's not somewhere I've ever been. It's not somewhere I've ever been to. Obviously, I guess that gets us to the end of our spinning. Sam, how was your spin for you?
I've loved it. Yeah, I mean, considering hour 20 minutes ago I was still in bed, this has been absolutely brilliant.
So in terms of you and the stuff that you're doing, tell us about where we can find out about you, about the stuff that you're doing, about what projects you might have in the pipeline.
My Facebook is Sam Serrano Comedian. My Instagram and Twitter is @SamSerranoHam, and my TikTok is Serrano Comedy. And then I've got YouTube where I put up vlogs of my gigs.
Do you know what? They are really, if you want some advice about Sam and about Sam's comedy, one way is to just see him do the clips online, but another way is to watch his vlog, because actually I love those vlogs. Because
thank you, mate. I'm going to start them off again.
You get Sam starting up in his kitchen, and you get him travelling to a gig, and all the panic and problems that ensue. I think they're fantastic. I really do. I love them.
Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, I'll definitely be starting them up once gigs start up again. I'm also looking to tour my solo shows soon. Hopefully, when it kicks up again, probably 2022, 2023, that'll be. But yeah, go for it. All the stuff about that will be on Facebook and Instagram and all that kind of stuff.
Check you out on all the socials.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Once COVID's over, so probably 2032.
Exactly. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me. I've had a really nice chat. Take care of yourself. Thanks for spinning the wheel.
See you soon, mate. Thank you very much for having me on.
And that was Sam Serrano. Thank you so much for having a chat, Sam. Now it's time for you to go back and have whatever you're planning to eat within that diet of yours. I do worry about his dentist bills. In the future, things are going to certainly be interesting for him with his toasties and his Monster and all the rest of it. What a lovely guy. Sam's a great guy, and obviously he's had so many trials and tribulations, even in such a short life so far. I look forward to seeing exactly where his agent manages to get him and take him in the future. He is he's a hilarious guy, and you really need to check out some of his stand-up on YouTube and all the rest of that kind of stuff. He's a really lovely dude. I'm looking forward to sharing a stage with him again at some time in the not too distant future. In the meantime, we'll be back this time next week with another podcast. So check it out, share it, click like, subscribe, tell people about the podcast. Whatever you do, whether it's rating it on iTunes, whether it's leaving comments on YouTube or anything else along those lines. I love to hear from people. I love to hear feedback and any ideas of people that I should chat to as well. So in the meantime, have a great week, and I'll see you again next time. Ta-da now.